phone. She chose to participate in this year's TED conference because she wants to share something positive with people. Ava specifically chose her topic on the effect of pet animals on people because she's inspired by her own pets and wanted to continue to explore an area on a deeper level. Please welcome Ava Cafasso as she presents the pet effect.
So, how many of you have pets? Please raise your hand if you have a pet. All right, so that's a lot of you. So when you get home, you put your bag down, you have a snack, and then you see your animals. You pet them and hug them and tell them how much you love them, but do you know what's happening inside of your brain and in your body? Probably not, and if you do, I'm impressed. Good for you. For those of you who don't, there's the pet effect to explain it all. So I'm sure you're asking, what is the pet effect? And how do animals benefit people in such a way that is healthy? The pet effect is a group of scientific research that shows how the animal companions, mainly focused around cats and dogs, positively influence areas like mental health, bodily processes, happiness, and the quality of life. Alan Beck at the Purdue University and Aaron Katcher from the University of Pennsylvania organized a study where they measured bodily processes as someone pet a dog. They found that not only blood pressure went down, but heart rate slowed, breathing became consistent, and muscles relaxed. This study was a clear indication of the benefits of pets. Before we jump into it, I'd like to introduce my own family. So this is Mustache, and he has lots of clothes, including the one pictured above, and he loves to nap in the sun. Next we have Reddy, and he's the sweetest dog you'll ever meet. And he also loves stealing food from the dinner table. And lastly, we have the lovely Bella. And she enjoys eating and dreaming about food. She's also very fat and fluffy. And she's the queen bee of the house. So moving on, I'd like to direct the focus to the brain and to hormones that are released in the brain. So we all have hormones that are released into our bodies by situations or responses to things, and we all have 4 happiness hormones. They include endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. In a study by the British Psychological Society, researchers found that dogs especially stimulate therapeutic or psychological health and lower the stress hormone cortisol. In a 2017 article by Marilyn Gemino, it has been found that just being in the presence of an animal has been shown to lower stress levels. So in this next slide, we have a brief description of each hormone, and then we start off with endorphins, which reduces pain signals, and serotonin, which boosts mood and makes us more agreeable. Cats. So in a study by Cornell College, student Philippa Dennis studied the benefit of human-cat relationships and found that people who became attached to their cats underwent great calming effects from the created bond. Cats also fulfill the need for touch, especially for individuals whose illness prevents them from creating those bonds. So stress is typically represented through accelerated heart rate and high blood pressure. And in one study by the University of New York, researchers had 240 married couples perform 2 tasks, which were doing difficult mouth problems and sticking their hands in ice water for 2 minutes. And I don't know who would want to do that. That's not enjoyable. So some were alone and some had company, either a spouse, a friend, or a pet. And people had higher blood pressure and heart rates when a spouse or friend was in the room, but in the presence of a pet, they actually had lower blood pressure. So here, it's not shown, but this was actually an experiment where 67 Yale medical students were divided into 3 groups, and each participant completed a psychological questionnaire which measured their current level of anxiety. And here, the graph shows the results after no treatment, pictures of a dog, and real dog. And you can obviously see there's a very large decrease in people who saw a real dog. So Besides helping out with mental illnesses, pets can also make a person's life better just every day and increase overall quality of life. And actually, therapy is a great way for animals to shine with their healing talents. And in a few short moments, we will be exploring stories of individuals who have been affected by the power of pets, starting off with horses. So horses are very calming and gentle creatures, and as a former equestrian, I've experienced what they're really like, and they're just amazing animals. And equine therapy is with no doubt greatly beneficial to oneself in many areas. So Brianna Bornhorst, the executive director of a therapeutic riding program in Clifton, Virginia, explains how horses help the disabled emotionally and physically, and she says that some of our riders might benefit from the connection and relationship building with the horse and their environment. One particular therapeutic riding student, Ryan, his mother says that riding has helped his following directions and some really core life skills about getting dressed and balance. According to a study by researchers from the University of Missouri, the social skills of children with autism, particularly in the area of assertion, increased over time, and when there was a companion animal present, while problem behaviors decreased. So now we move on to dog therapy, which is probably one of the most common kinds of therapy there is. And besides dogs, there's actually therapy birds, reptiles, small mammals, and even aquatic animals, if you can believe that. Today, we're going to focus on this. We're going to focus on the story of two young friends, Zena, who was an abused and abandoned puppy, and this is Johnny Hickey. He is a very quiet boy with autism, and Johnny's mother, Linda, brought him to a fundraiser to meet Zena after seeing the dog on a Facebook post. And upon meeting the dog, she says that Johnny, usually shy and introverted, came out of his shell, and from that very first day, the dog was sitting in his lap in the car seat, giving him all these kisses, and she also says that he was the happiest child that she had ever seen. So, whether you're thinking about volunteering at a local animal shelter or adding a new member to your family, don't forget the many positives of pets. They help us in so many ways to enjoy life and to guide us through life. And remember that people can find something to connect to in a pet that they can't find in anything else. And that's my key to the world.
Thank you, Ava.
Okay, and so this period, we only have two presenters this period, and what we're going to do is pretty much what we've done with the other periods is to have a quick Q&A with the two presenters, and then what we will do is bring up all of our presenters for the entire day and have a quick Q&A with them. So that's our goal. Okay. Woo! All right. Our first presenter for this period 7 assembly is